Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 14. Once you've got qualifying, then the main 1 hour race. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sim Racing Alliance. And this is where it all counts. As all eyes go to the light, and we are racing.
He brakes late, almost takes out the car ahead of him.
He's getting a tow, a flash.
Argy right on the exit, rear end squiggle. Who's going to get the move done here around the outside?
Oh, dang!
Byron ran it so shallow there, and this has become a 4-car battle. Game of inches as the BMW is in the paint.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome back to Division 5. We're in here for a great race. It's round 2. We're in Germany at the Nurburgring. My name's Trey, and I am joined by Stephanie in the booth. Steph, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you doing, Trey?
I'm doing fantastic. We're back here for more racing, so what more could you want? Last week, round 1, we had a lot of fun at Paul Ricard. A very clean lap 1. Unfortunately, this week, I don't think we're going to see quite that with how much technical this race is, but we are on to race 2, Nurburgring. So it'll be fun. It'll be a normal day race. No strange conditions. Just straightforward, middle of the day, fun racing. Nothing wet that we have to worry about, but it should be a good race. It's a very technical track. And Steph, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk us through the track map today.
All right. Well, I will do my best to not bumble through it too much.
That's fine.
No, I mean, awesome. All right. So Nurburgring, right? Yep. We're in Nurburgring.
That is where we are, yes.
Yeah. No, it's quite a fun little track. You've got coming out, you've turned 1. Nice little hairpin there. Great spot for disasters. Hopefully none tonight. I'm not sure whether to be optimistic or pessimistic. Pessimistic worked last week to keep everything clean. So maybe I shall continue that and say, well, turn 1. Let's see what happens. It's quite a tricky because it kind of pitches downward as you go through the turn. So it is a little bit rough to get in there. And then you come around for a wide turn 2 into turn 4 over there. It's got an odd pitch to the track. So easy to slide out, take a track cut there, or worse. 4 comes very close after 3, and you got to kind of cut it hard, hit the curbing on the inside of that one. Typically is the optimal line on that. Even a little bit of a straight before coming into 5 as a left turn, downhill into turn 6, right-hand turn, and then you have a little bit of a curved straight going downhill before going into this hairpin of turn 7, which I have always found turn 7 to be absolutely terrifying coming into. Bit like a roller coaster to me. It's how it always felt, because it does have a bit of a nice pitch to really swing the car around, but it was also really easy to not get the car to turn. Then it's uphill to turns 8 and 9. 8 is not much of a turn, and 9 is not much of a turn either. Then we come up to 10, left-hand turn. Pretty fun, actually, cut over the curb. Swing around for turn 11. 12 doesn't really count. 13 and 14 is a chicane. Another spot for some extra spice to our night. Hopefully not too much spice. Then we come to the final turn of turn 15. Does that count as a hairpin?
I would say so. It's a little bit close, but it at least feels like it while you're going through it. It does, doesn't it? You could kind of argue not, because it's similar to the last turn of Hungary, and I don't think most people consider the last turn of Hungary to be a hairpin, but I'm not really sure. We'll count it as
I'm
one
not
for this.
sure either. All right, we're gonna count it as one for this. So 15 pseudo hairpin before you come down to the start finish straight and do it all over again.
Yeah, thank you for that walkthrough, Steph. Like you were saying, turn 7, it really does feel like a roller coaster when you're driving through it. It's cambered, so the best way to take it really doesn't make sense when you're thinking about most of the other turns. You kind of have to double apex it to get the best exit. It's a really interesting track overall, though. Like you were saying, there's a lot of off camber corners. There's a lot of fast corners that you almost don't consider corners, like 8 and 9, but it's all just a really fun track to drive, and it should hopefully be a fun track to race around too.
Hopefully. I'm looking forward to it. It's usually a pretty entertaining race.
That it is. We are also now going to go over the standings. So the standings this week are just going to be the finishing order for last week. So John Bayham, I have been told how to correctly pronounce his name. It is Bayham, is P1 with both pole and fastest lap, and obviously the race win. He did very good last week. P2, we have Josh Parker. P3, we have Mike Cook, and our P2 and 3 drivers are both silver. I kind of expect that they won't be silver by the end of week 3, because that's when we do our rejiggering of the divisions, but we'll have to wait and see. In P4, we have Andrew Dwangbanglio, who's did really great. Michael Santos, P5, also a silver driver for now. P6 is Stephen Pellerin. P7 is Corey Colt. P8, we have the first of 3 Thibodeaus. P9, we have Roger Dismukes. And P10, we have Zach Watt. All of those drivers did very good last week. Most of those drivers are also really high up this week in the practice server, so we will have to see where they go again, or do this week. We're only going to go through the top 10 because silver drivers are very close to qualifying, but we will go ahead and give some love to the guys at the bottom of the grid too. And then just a quick look here at our team standings. Dwangbanglio and Pellerin doing great in that Lexus up there. Actually, all top 3 of our teams are in Lexuses, so not too much of a surprise given last week's track. But our P2 team is Dan Thibodeau and Josh Parker in Reined In Racing. I forgot to say the name for P1. I feel so bad, but it's Apex GP. Amazing name. And then our P3 is Season Bandbound Vanquish Racing Team with John Bayham and Peachy Stearns. I think we said this last week, but I really hope that they don't go for that season ban.
No, I'm looking. Doesn't look like they will. John seems to be pretty clean. I guess it's hard not to be when you're out in front. Although I'm pretty sure Peachy Stearns was not here last week.
So, well, I don't know, because John Bayham only had 112 points, and Stearns and 129 is not 112. So I think he was here last week, just didn't do quite as good.
No. Well, the fact that we didn't hear from him means that maybe they are not going for that season ban.
I will take that as a good thing that they're not going for that, going after their team's namesake. But for now, that is the overall driver standings and team standings. Our silver drivers are just about to head out on track, so we're going to go ahead and look at them. So we can see our drivers queuing there at the end of the pit lane. For those of you who don't know, our silver drivers go out in the first part of qualifying, so the first 10 minutes. And then our gold drivers will go out in the second half of the qualifying session, just to make sure that we have more room on track so people don't run over each other, especially when, at least for the most part, our gold drivers are going to be faster than our silver drivers.
At least that's what we go for.
That is the goal. Now, obviously, with 2 of our top 3 drivers currently being silver, it doesn't work out quite as well as it normally would. But
yeah, well, like you said, that will probably be changed in the next 2 or 3 weeks. this continues the way it is. They will usually shuffle people around.
Yeah, that happened to me last year. I went from D5 to D4 at the end of the third race. So don't get too attached to some of our faster drivers here. They may get moved up to D4. Not entirely sure, and I'm not going to speculate on who it might be. But there are a few spots that will get used in D4 by these D3 drivers, because we like to make sure that these wins aren't blowout wins.
No, because that's not fun.
Yeah, it's never fun. It looks like, I'm not sure who that is. I think, yeah, Jacobs. Could be wrong on who it was, but I think he actually spun on his outlap. And I believe that is correct. So unfortunate for him, but we're gonna go ahead and go on board once the replay is done. Whoop. There we go. We're gonna go on board here with Speed as he goes through his first lap. So like Steph was saying, turn 1 is very tight and very much not, it's not a normal corner because it dips down right after the apex. But Speed did a very good job between turns 1 and 2. Turn 3 is a very slow corner that sets you up for another slow corner of turn 4. It's really hard to get on the power for turn 4. Steph, I don't know how much you've driven this track recently, but in the practice, I found that turn 4 is probably the hardest turn out of all of them.
Yeah, it's what I always found driving in a lot of places is that it's the turn feels fine to, it's sort of like steps to learning. You get, oh, I can do this turn. It's not that hard to get through the turn and come out. What's hard is to get through the turn and get on the gas, throttle, and get time out of that turn.
Yeah, I'd say that's
and
fair.
That is really hard there. Yeah, that was and there are quite a few turns here where I feel like you really have to, I don't want to say trust the car, but it does feel like a leap of faith, and that one uphill pseudo turn is kind of one of those where you're really coming up, you want a minimal speed loss, so you're not really even using the brakes at all, just a tiny little lift to throw that car through there, and that is terrifying.
Just like that.
That one's terrifying.
So yeah, Speed having a little bit of an issue here through these couple turns, but he's been doing a good job. I think he did invalidate. And it looks like he did, yeah. So he invalidated on that lap. But we do have a valid lap here from Cook, 159.2, as Parker immediately jumps him with a 157.5. And again, Parker is P2 in the championship, so we do expect him to do pretty good today. We're just not sure how good, because the Lexus was really good last week at Paul Ricard, specifically because of the long straight. And there's not really a long, I mean, there is a long straight, but it's definitely not as long as Paul Ricard was.
No, it's definitely not as long as Paul Ricard. I think it's a significantly more twisty, turny track.
Very much so.
And I do not see Mr. Baham, who was there he is. He's in the pits.
Yeah, it's because Baham is a gold driver, so he doesn't have to do anything yet.
Right. Look at, I quit driving for a while and I just forget everything. It's like, wait, why isn't he on here anywhere?
Yeah, so speaking of practice times, our fastest silver driver anyways, was SVG here. He managed in the practice a 155.9. So a little bit faster than our current times, but not by a whole lot, as Hemian is currently on provisional pole with a 157.295, and he is over half a second up on his last time. So if he's able to keep this up, he's going to do great.
Yeah, I believe most of the times we have out there are the banker laps for these guys, so they should definitely see some improvement.
I would certainly hope so. Van Loo's, his first lap was a 2-minute 5-second lap. I'm really hoping that's not his pace, and I don't expect it to be, but I would hope that's anything if not just a banker lap. As Santos goes to provisional pole, the Hemians looking to overtake him, and he
Van
does
Loo
so.
is 7 seconds up. That's a delta you love to see.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think you'd prefer to see that delta from a better first lap, but you will never not take that kind of improvement. As he does lose a little bit of time there. Not entirely sure what happened, but he's now only 6 seconds up, but still a vast gain on his previous time. As he jumps Unda. And I don't believe Unda was with us last race. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's kind of one of those could be. There's always a couple guys that are in there who. Yes, the commentators read the comments. There's always a couple of guys who just run a really clean, quiet race. They kind of slip past or maybe sit in their spots, but you just kind of miss them. They're in the shadows somewhere.
Yeah, especially when it's just one race under our belts, it's kind of hard to make sure you get everyone involved. As the season goes on, it gets a little bit better. Unda is almost done with their lap. They are currently 2.5 seconds up on their previous time. That would put them around where Van Loo is currently. Except I think
people sliding around out there.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a few people. I've seen a bunch of yellow flags. I'm not sure who that's been for, as someone just had a yellow flag down at the hairpin of turn 7, but I'm not sure.
See that? So I'm going to put Mr. Parker in the pit because we have quite the fan in the comments. So
that we do. But for now, I'm going to look at our biggest improver, which right now is with Cox here in that yellow Ferrari. I think that's yellow. It almost looked orange there with the lighting, but I'm going to say that's yellow. And he comes across the line, should be an improvement of about 1/10.5. I believe it was, but I don't know if he moved up. I looked away from the screen before he moved up. As someone moved up, Van Loo goes to provisional pole. So, just a tiny improvement from his first lap. But amazing job there. May, it looks like, is done. There was a yellow flag. I believe he just stopped in the pit straight. Dan Thibodeau is about 3.5 tenths up on his last lap. But we're going to follow Parker in front of him, as Parker is 8 tenths up on his last lap. So by the end of this, he could be over a second up. And we're going to follow him, listen in on his straight.
yeah, he's an Alexa, so that's a nice listen.
Nice engine sound there. Great job through the chicane. He is now almost a second up on his previous lap. So if he gets a good exit here, he might get provisional pole. And he goes P2. So not provisional pole, but he does do great. And that is the end of his qualifying, as we have passed the 10-minute 30 mark. So any silver drivers on a current lap have to finish their lap and then come into the pits, so that our gold drivers can begin their qualifying laps. As Dan Thibodeau, or no, this is Austin Thibodeau, my apologies, finishes up. There's going to be a lot of yellow flags there in Sector 1, but don't worry, that should hopefully just be for drivers finishing their laps. We're going to follow Garcia here. I believe that was Cox that just finished his lap. He went up to P3, so amazing job for him. Garcia is going through the chicane, and we'll be going through the last corner here in just a moment. we have a lot of drivers here improving by a lot, but Garcia is up by almost 9/10 and jumps up to P4. Very nice job. The last big improver that I'm seeing is Hopkins as they go across the line and they jump up to P17. And I believe Cook and Jacobs are our last two drivers. Cook is about 4/10 up on his previous lap. We're gonna watch this driver as he goes through the chicane just to watch his what he does here.
And so you can see just how nerve-wracking it is.
It is shockingly nerve-wracking, especially when you hit that first part of the chicane just a little bit too hard. Jacobs, I don't know if he jumped to P14 or if he stayed P14, but that's where he ends up. And Cook finishes P7, so amazing job from him. Hemian is our provisional pole sitter, but our gold drivers are now out on track. Yeah, I will pull up Watt, who I believe is the first driver on track. Shiel is also out on track, but he's a silver driver, so I'm not sure if he's finishing a lap or if he's out at the wrong time. He was finishing his lap. Okay, so he jumps up to P19. He gets his qualifying lap in. But we're gonna go ahead and go on board here with, I believe it's Zach Watt as he goes through his first lap for the golds. Goes a little bit deep there into turn 1, but not too big of an issue. Turn 2 is an interesting corner where you don't really have to brake a whole lot. It's just like a tiny tap, but since it's uphill, you don't have to brake too much for it. And then he's also going deep here into turn 3, so hopefully that's not a thing that happens throughout the whole lap.
Oh, so it looks like Cameron Hastings is not going to make it out for a qualifying lap. He's had some technical issues, but should make it back for the race.
Yeah, so Hastings had an issue. The other silver driver to not qualify is Ma, the number 141 Porsche. That is not technical issues. They had a qualifying ban this week. So unfortunate to see it this early, but if nothing else, I guess happy to get it out of the way early, since you can't serve two of the same penalty in the one season. So they won't have any more qualifying bans. They can get more intensive penalties like pit lane starts or race bans. Hopefully we don't see that, but it is possible that they could get those, but no more qualifying bans for them.
I didn't look at the penalties this week. Is the qualifying ban because of influenced by carryover points? Because we do carry points over from the previous season.
I believe it was. I will check on that after we watch Zach Watt finish his race. To MMA Post, we will go over our predicted winners and top 5 probably while we're doing the formation lap. I know I'm personally hoping for Santos, but you can never tell. As Zach Watt goes P13 for his initial banker lap, Garmin goes to P9. Duong Banglio sits currently at P16. And we have a lot of other drivers currently making their laps. I'm not going to go through all of them at the moment. If I see a fast one, I will. But for the moment, there's no one setting down immense first laps as far as I can tell. I'm also surprised at how few gold drivers there are right now. Because we have 33 drivers and only 13 of them are gold.
Huh, I see that. Interesting.
Yeah. So, sure, so this could be a good opportunity for more of our silver drivers to get good points. Thibodeau here, C. Thibodeau in the Ford is our current highest gold driver, but of course, since it's all first laps, we are not entirely sure who will go where. The one thing that I am sure of, though, is Bayham is over 8 tenths up on his last lap.
He is. So, I mean, as MMA Post asked about predictions, and it's hard not to predict that Bayham will be in the top 3 at the end of this race, given his performance last week. And if we look at the laps from the practices of this week, he's pretty high up, if not top, on all of those boards.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Last week especially, it was mostly just a race for P2. Not entirely sure if it'll be the same this week. I hope not, just because more racing up front is a little bit funner, but we'll have to see. And to answer your question about Ma's qualifying ban, that was influenced from carryover points. They got 2 penalty points last week at Paul Ricard for an incident, and then presumably they had 3 from last season, because your penalty points carry over for 1 season, but we do have you do get to axe 1 penalty point between seasons. So if you had 3 starting out, then you would only have 2 at the start of next season. As Bayham jumps up to P8, but we have 2 gold drivers not named Bayham in the top 2 in Thibodeau and Witt.
Yep. So let that be a lesson to anybody who's new. Don't go hog wild on the last races, because if you collect a bunch of points, you're not getting out of the penalty if you come back the following season.
Yep. And to answer Ezawa, funner is a word, and if it's not in the dictionary, I just made it a word, so take that. As for our improvers, Zach Watt, after his first lap, did pretty good, but he's currently 6 tenths up on his last lap.
Swear, every time I go to somebody who's improving, it's the next person, and it's the same picture on the stream.
We're just thinking the same way. Not a bad thing.
No.
Bayham is also improving, but I'm not going to switch to him.
Yep. I'm already watching him.
Exactly. But Watt goes P2 with a 156.2. So very nice. We have not yet seen a lap close to our fastest in quali yet. Well, sort of. Thibodeau's lap was a 155.6, and our fastest lap from Bayham was a 155.5. Lorenzo goes P2. So now P3 is Witt. Jumps him up in P2. So great job there.
So Thibodeau, I bet, is thrilled with that time, considering it's the fastest he has on his little record, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's currently up on Bayham by 0.2 of a second, so he is definitely not slow.
No, he's doing great.
Yeah, Thibodeau's best lap in practice was a 155.8, so he's almost a quarter second up on his best practice time. Looking a little further back, Garmin is currently 3 tenths up on his best lap. That would put him somewhere in the top 5-ish range if he can hold on to his current lap. Juicy Jake had been 2 tenths up on his best lap, but he is, I don't know if he's backed off or what, but I think he had an issue. Oh, you're also watching him. I'll switch to Pellerin here in the back. Pellerin is a second up on their last time, and that last time was a 157.3. So that would put him up into the top 10 if he's able to get there. As we are now entering the closing stages of qualifying. Sorry, you were about to say something?
I was just noting there's no huge improvements in the front. Yeah, Witt maybe a little over a 10th up on his time. He's looking to maybe jump a spot or 2 if he holds on to it.
Yeah. Pellerin jumps up to P11, and I don't think there's anyone below him currently racing that could take it over. The only person behind him that's currently qualifying is, I believe that's Mark DC, but he's 2.5 tenths down, so I don't think he will improve. He could. I hope that he does, because we always like good laps, but I'm not expecting it. Meanwhile, Bayham, who is just about to cross the line, and has crossed the line, he gets a little bit closer. He's less than a tenth away from C. Thibodeau. I believe that's Cliff Thibodeau. I could be wrong. But he does not get there.
Nope.
So a very nice lap there. Mark DC is going to finish with a lap time improvement, but not by much. Watt and Garmin are our last two drivers out on track. I'm going to go ahead and go on board with Garmin. He is only 2 tenths down, so he does have a chance to get a lot faster through Sector 3, but Sector 3 is also really short, so you have to find big places to make improvements. As a... Oh,
That's not the way to do it.
that is not the way to make an improvement, no. So now
No,
it's just
Mr.
up to
Watt.
Watt. He's
give
not
a different
improving
view.
through the chicane. He's got one more shot through the last corner. He goes wide though. He does slightly go a little bit faster, but not enough to improve his time. So that is our qualifying done and dusted. C. Thibodeau P1, Bayham P2, and Garmin P3. We will do a driver grid walkthrough in a moment, but first we're going to hear a word from our sponsors.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
All right, welcome back. We are going to be starting our formation lap right now, actually, as soon as Thibodeau gets moving. But we're going to go ahead and do a quick grid walk here, just for our drivers. So we start off, obviously, with pole with, I believe it's Cliff Thibodeau. I'm going to pull up the driver names. No, Cameron Thibodeau in P1. So amazing job there to outdo John Bayham for P1. Bayham is in P2. Brad Garmin did an amazing job. He's almost a second faster than any lap he put up in the practice server. So an amazing job to get up to P3. Nolan Witt in that P4 Mercedes looks amazing. P5, we have Lorenzo, who doesn't have a livery. I don't think it's my fault, but it very well could be. P6 is Zach Watt. And then we have our first silver driver of Cliff Hemian in P7. So that's who you guys you're talking about in the chat. Okay, so Cliff Hemian is who you're talking about. Ben Van Loo in P8 with an amazing last or second to last lap to jump up there. Leader in P9, who I unfortunately incorrectly said was the silver champion last year. That is, or last season. That's a mistake. He did do amazing races, but he got bumped up to gold before he could take the championship. To round out our top 10, we have Juicy Jake. P11, we have Stefan Pellerin. In P12, we have Michael Cox. In P13, we have Emil Garcia. In P14, we have Josh Parker. In P15, we have Michael Santos. In P16, we have Mike Cook. P17 is Brad Bertram. P18 is Peachy Stearns. P19 is Austin Thibodeau. P20 is a fellow commentator in SIG SVG. P21, we have Dan Thibodeau. P22, we have Andrew Duong-Bonglio. P23, we have JP May. P24, we have Renard Blanc. P25 is Glenn Jacobs. P26 is Brian Acombe. P27 is Andrew Hopkins. P28 is Mark DC. P29 is Jonas Scheel. P30 with the qualifying ban, we had Vienna Ma. P31, we had Gersich Speed. P32 is Cameron Hastings. I hope it's Hastings. He told me. I assume it's Hastings. It could be Hastings. I'm going to pronounce it Hastings. And then P33 with a pit lane start, we have Kevin Unda. I really hope that's not... I kind of think that's him forgetting to hit drive, because I know he didn't have a pit lane start in the anything, so unfortunate issues. Hopefully he's able to get back. But Steph, I know you said that you're expecting John Bayham to win. Has that expectation changed at all?
I think if he wins, he might have to fight for it. We'll see how the start goes here. I think my biggest prediction, I'm going to be pessimistic. I think that it's going to get ugly here tonight. I hope not, but...
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a fair thing to guess. Unda might have made the right call to start in the pits to avoid most of the first lap chaos,
Yes.
But we are green. Bayham already has a drive-through penalty. That is...
Oh!
That automatically sets him
That
off
hurt.
with a terrible start. He might still be able to take P1. No, he doesn't. We are so far clean through turn 1. I'm going to... We are not clean. There are a couple drivers in the back who had issues. Mostly clean, though. So very nice start to see that. We have Watt and Lorenzo back here battling for P5 side by side. Thibodeau has made it clean out into the lead. As I believe that's Lorenzo, who had a little bit of an issue going through turn 4. And he gets turned! Lorenzo gets turned!
Oh!
That
Ouch. He's facing the right way now, though.
Yeah, so he should hopefully be able to keep going, but that is not a good way to start. As someone, that is Lorenzo again, going off there in the back.
I think that was a really bad... It looked like it was going to be a really, really bad re-entry.
Yeah, he is now in second to last place. Unda has left the pits, so they are keeping going. SVG and Stearns had been side by side. I believe SVG got past Stearns. Also on the start, we missed this, but Garmin got past Bayham. So very nice job here from Garmin to get past Bayham on the start. It won't affect the overall standings too much, because unfortunately Bayham does have that drive-through penalty. But overall, very clean. I'm honestly shocked. I know that they did very good at the ending. Oh no, Acombe.
Nope. It is not clean.
It's mostly clean.
Not
mostly clean.
No. There is some.
I don't want to jinx it too much.
No, there is some high quality chaos happening. The chaos that happens is harsh. It's not little bumps.
No.
I have to throw Lorenzo under the bus. That I don't know what happened with that track re-entry, but it was. I mean, if it was intentional in any way, it was horrific. And probably an example of what not to do.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened. It kind of looked like he started to drift wide into another car, but we're gonna let the stewards figure that out. In the pip, we have a battle between, I believe that's Austin Thibodeau and Duong Bunglio.
When there's Santos right behind him.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm gonna cheer for
right.
Santos. Santos lost 4 spots on that race start, so not good, unfortunately. Parker in P6.
And look at poor Santos in the dirt now.
Oh no! Yes, I'm
Told
gonna pull a replay of this.
awful.
Oh, he just went wide on the grass, and then spun.
This is an unforgiving track.
It really is. Last week at Paul Ricard, we had bundles and bundles of extra runoff just because it's essentially all asphalt. But here, there is no runoff. Oh no! Van Loo gets turned!
Ah!
Hold the brakes!
Oh!
Please don't rejoin into that.
No.
Oh, that was very close on the rejoin. Do you want to pull up a replay of that, or do you want me to?
You're already on it, so I'll let you pull that up.
All right. So, I didn't go back far enough. Dang it. We did get a view of that almost bad rejoin, but a very good job to not cause anything. He does lose a couple spots going down that back straight though, and he is going into the pits to repair that damage. MMA post pointing out that Parker has gone from P14. He's saying P6, but he's up into P4 now. I think I don't know if he got past Hemian, but he did an amazing job there.
He must have, and that's a track like this, and in the prediction that we kind of have, and the way it looks like it's going to be a disaster from the start. This is where being able to be super consistent and learning how to just avoid the nonsense, you're going to gain so many spots just by that. You don't even have to be all that fast. You have to be able to keep pace. That's it.
Yeah, so consistency is key, as it is with almost any track, but especially here with errors causing immense issues. We saw SVG get a little bit of a hip check there from Pellerin, but thankfully he's able to stay on track. But that has caused Cox to fall back into Stearns. Jacobs has gone off track. We're pulling up that replay in the pip right there in the bottom right. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. We'll watch and see what happens. Oh! Looks like he just went deep there into the corner.
Oh, I think he had help.
Yeah. I think he went deep into the corner and then hit the person just in front of him. Thankfully, I don't think it caused any issues with the driver he hit, but we'll have to see. Meanwhile,
yeah, that would be a look.
Sorry.
I was just saying, I didn't see if he had overlap going into the turn at the right spot in order to actually be entitled to the space he was occupying if the other guy pulled into him or if he went wide. So.
Yeah, we'll have to let the stewards decide that. Meanwhile, on screen, Duong Bunglio tried to make a pass on Stearns, but that attempted pass let Thibodeau, Austin, I hope Thibodeau, on through. So very nice job there from Thibodeau being optimistic. Pellerin trying to overtake on Cook. I think Pellerin may have gone deep and hit Cook. I will quickly pull up a replay of that. As there's more contact into turn 1.
Well, they all stayed facing the right direction for the time being, so
yeah,
I will not.
Just a little bit of chaos there. While SVG and Cook having I'll say physical words is what I'll call that. Cook does manage to keep ahead of SVG. Meanwhile, Thibodeau trying to get alongside Cox here into the hairpin. Doesn't get alongside, but he does look to have a great exit there. So as long as he's able to not run into the back of Cox here, he should have a good chance to overtake him on the long straight.
As Lorenzo is off.
Oh no! Yeah, like we were saying, this track is very easy to have offs. Your little offs become big offs very quickly.
Yep.
As we
Yep,
see him
and
there.
it's that downhill, terrifying hairpin.
Yep.
So easy to do.
Meanwhile, Austin looking to the inside. He does not try anything. Almost gets into him, but doesn't. Just behind him, Duong Bonglio passed Stearns and is now looking to try and get past Thibodeau. We'll have to see how that works out. But this pack here from P12 to P18, it's all very close together. They're all basically just under half a second to each other.
Garcia gets past leader up front to take P7.
Yep, that is in the... Oh, no! Juicy Jake and I believe that's Ma come together. Ma, I believe, just went deep into the corner and was not able to stop in time before they hit Jake, and now Jake is tumbling down the order. They are able to get going again, but they were stuck essentially backwards and had to try and make sure that they didn't hit anyone. Meanwhile, in both screens, because actually, yeah, it is in both screens, Thibodeau does an amazing job there to get past Cox. I've just noticed that we both have different liveries for Thibodeau.
Oh, that's fun. So yeah, I will confess that I did not update my liveries for this. Sorry, guys.
That's perfectly fine.
I can see just how obvious that is now.
You're perfectly fine. Meanwhile, SVG is very close to the back of Cook. He is coming up to one of the premier overtaking zones of this back straight into the chicane, and he's far enough back that going through the little kink of turn, I think 16 or 13, whichever turn this is that they're going through, isn't an issue, because if you go through that corner too close, then it can be an issue. Duong Bonglio looking to the inside there of Cox, but decides not to do anything. As Speed, ooh, Speed has
Saved
a little
it.
bit of a moment there. Yeah, a very nice save there, but that does let Ma get alongside and I believe past him. We're gonna go ahead and ride along on the wing here, just to see if anything happens here into turn one. We hope it doesn't, or at least no contact anyways. Oh no! I almost spoke it into existence. As Speed goes way deep.
Oof.
I need better
Thankfully-
commentator vibes, I guess.
You have to burn the incense before you start, you know.
I'll have to remember that for next week. Out front, Watt is about a half second behind Witt. They've been kind of close for a while. As Cook has a yellow flag.
Cook!
No!
Oh!
I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the replay in the main screen just to see what happened. Oh!
What?
Oh, and he collected I believe that's SVG. So yeah, he just went really wide there on turn 5 and could not hold it through turn 6. Thankfully, other than, oh, and he goes wide again on turn 7. So I kind of assume his tires are really over-pressured and overheated right now. So hopefully he's able to cool down his tires here in the next couple laps to stop the fall, but we'll have to see. Shield right behind, I believe that's Shield. That might be May. There's a lot of guys right behind him. Oh my!
Ah!
Speaking of, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this replay.
What? I have one there in the pip that
Oh no!
just before our eyes.
And that was through the chicane. Oh, so yeah, that was. I don't know if that was Hastings or Bertram. I believe that was. Yeah, it was Bertram. Had a little bit of an incident, tried to avoid and just wasn't able to. I believe Duong Bonglio was one of the guys you were talking about having issues. Yes.
Well, yeah, that was who I was. Well, but I figured since we saw it in the pip as it happened, I was not gonna.
Well,
I wasn't gonna make them revisit it later.
I didn't get to see it. There was too much fun in the main screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. But yeah, so Duong Bonglio did have an incident through the chicane. Very unfortunate. Sean Paul, you are correct. The curse is very real, unfortunately. That's just kind of how it works around here. I'm expecting payback tomorrow from somebody. I'm not sure who, though. But we have a lot of close racing, so I'll take it. Bayham.
Take a look.
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'll take a look at Bayham in the back because he's making his way up. It's fine, you do.
I'll go on board so that you can be on the outside. There we go. We have different pictures now.
Okay.
Yeah, so as we were trying to say, Bayham is currently in P26 after his drive-through penalty. I assume it was because he was going too fast on the race start, but we'll have to talk to him later.
Either too fast or out of position is another one that can give you a drive-through, I believe.
It did look like P1 and 2 were a ways ahead of everyone else. But before the start, I'm not entirely sure what the... Oh!
Juicy pig!
We caught that in the pip, so I'm not going to make him relive that. But he just went a little bit wide there on the corner.
Egg-home!
No!
Oh, I was trying to go up there because they were
And then
about
Cook is...
somebody was about to make a move.
Oh no, Cook is backwards on the main straight. So yeah, they try and go through that.
Oh, no.
Honestly, a great save by Acomb. Oh no! There's no brake markers anymore.
Now, the only thing I would say is I really hope that that doesn't come up as looking intentional, or he didn't do it intentionally, because that would be.
Yeah, I know
that would be bad.
I know that someone, I think it was in D4, got a warning for destroying the markers in the race for turn 1. Because it looks like someone, I don't remember who that is.
Hopkins just had a hopping bad time.
Yeah, so not a fun time there. I love his livery. Unfortunately, I don't love that crash. He just went way inside there, and I'm not entirely sure why, because that's not a line that you would want to take. But meanwhile, on the main screen, we have Garcia chasing down Garmin. Garmin does have some damage on the front of that BMW. You can see his hood flapping up and down there a little bit. I think Garcia might also have a tiny bit of damage given the specs on his front hood, but I'm not entirely sure. That could just be bugs.
Steel is hurt.
Oh, did someone have an issue in the pip?
Someone is going to have an issue in the pip in a minute.
Oh.
Pulled it back there. Yep.
Do you know what, which driver was that?
Shale. Sheel, not Shale. Sheel.
Yeah, so that's Jay Sheel in P27. We almost had another rear ending here from Garcia into turn 1, but they managed to hold that off.
Jacobs is now off.
Oh. That looks. Yeah, it looks to be an issue through the chicane. Oh, that was an oversteer moment.
Fastest lap is a 157.422, Edward Ryan.
Yeah, so we've got some good pace right now. Actually, no, the fastest lap was a 56.5.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I read the wrong number.
You're fine.
Thank you. That was his last lap.
Yeah. Still, I think that was the fastest of anyone last lap, except for maybe one person. But that lap was done by Watt here, who has tried to chase down Witz, but hasn't been able to. Meanwhile, back here in P14, Blanc has gotten past Speed. Speed will be trying to fight this back. He almost looks to the inside. I wonder if Speed is on keyboard with how he's driving, or if that's just a issue I'm having with ping. I'm gonna ride on board with him just to kind of see, but his movements look a little bit jerky. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, either way, he's doing a great job for a non-wheel driver. I don't think quite up to the levels of was it Selena who never drove with a wheel?
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's driving with a wheel now, but up until a season or two ago, she drove on controller and is up in D2, I believe.
She dropped down to D3 this year, I think, because she switched to wheel. Yeah. I could be wrong in that statement.
You know, when you say, oh, they switched to wheel and now they dropped down to D3.
Well, you know, when you're that good on controller, it can cause a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Speed does get past Blanc with an amazing move in turn 1 there. So great job there. Up a little bit ahead there, we have SVG, who's chasing down Pellerin. He had a much faster lap in the previous lap, almost 7/10 faster, but I think that may have been due to error from Pellerin rather than SVG just being that much faster. But we do have a great group here in the comment section. We have at least 3 Parker fans, including 2 brothers. I assume it's 2 of his brothers, since Ezawa and MMA Post have both said that they're brothers of him. Hopefully that's not too big of a shock, at least to one of you.
Yeah.
But always great to see family turn out to watch.
Yep.
Especially when they're doing good, as he is right now. He's done an amazing job to get up to P4, and I assume he'll be able to stay in P4 for at least a little bit until we get into the pit cycle.
I mean, he's far enough away from everybody that we probably won't put the camera on him, so he's probably safe.
Yeah, I won't try to commentate or curse him.
No.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Garcia has gotten past Garmin with an amazing move to turn 1 and then a preventing of the switchback into turn 2. He is a little tight here on turn 3, so that will compromise his turn 4 exit, but I don't think Garmin really has a way of getting around him through that sector. But either way, amazing pass. I assume he'll be able to hold on to it. In the pip, who are we watching? Oh no!
It was Blanc and Speed, but you know,
Speed had there's a little bit of an issue there, and Speed got sent off, unfortunately.
Speed is having an awful race.
Yeah, he's been hit a lot. Baham has jumped up to P20. Now we do have a couple of pitters. Dan Thibodeau, M. Cox, Van Loo, Bertram, and I believe Jacobs have all pit. I know that at least one of those was due to damage. And I believe that was... I know we watched it happen, but I don't remember who it was. But we are getting... Yeah. But we are getting to the point where the pit cycle is beginning to take effect. As we watch, I believe that was Acomb go a little bit wide there in the Bentley. And that allowed Baham to jump up to P18.
And, okay. Yeah, my VOD just went off for, well, I was gonna say a minute, but
A little bit longer
it's
than a minute.
hot minute. Yeah, it's a hot minute now.
Yeah. We'll keep him off the mainstream. But we do have a pitter, C. Thibodeau. I looked up his name, Cameron Thibodeau. So I don't know if that's our first pitter for non-damage. I think it is, because we are within my expected pit window. We'll go ahead and let him finish his pitting in peace, though. In the main screen, and I believe also in the pit, we are watching SVG and A. Thibodeau. We're going to go ahead and go on board here with SVG as he tries to fight against that Lexus. Ooh, almost an incident there, but a very good job to avoid. I wouldn't think you'd really want to pass into that place either, just because it doesn't really set up good defense areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but sometimes, yeah, things happen. The guy in front of you breaks a little earlier than you thought. Especially if you've got a McLaren and a Lexus, so they may have slightly dissimilar break points for those two vehicles. And you know, if SVG wasn't anticipating that, and he might have gotten a little close for comfort, but he did a great job holding it all together. As in the back, Thibodeau.
Hey, Thibodeau
has some
I will
issues.
pull up this replay here in the main screen. Oh, it looks like he just had an oversteer moment coming through. I believe that's turn 8, and he's stopping. Okay, I think he was just stopping to make sure he didn't merge into anyone trying to go back in.
That was nice of him. Can I note that we have a Wit and a Watt in the front?
That we do.
And I really feel like we should be able to play some words on that, but I haven't figured out how yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not good at rhyming or poetry, so I'm gonna have to let someone else, maybe in the comments, try that. But with them fighting each other, I don't, and Thibodeau, C. Thibodeau, here, having pit, I don't think either of them are really going to get the chance to fight for a win, because especially if they start fighting each other a lot more, they're not going to be able to catch C. Thibodeau.
I didn't know how far ahead he was from Wit either.
I didn't either. He is a minute 13 behind Wit up at the front. And if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pull up the pit delta that got sent to me.
You're gonna math?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So not including tire warm-up and all that from pit entry to pit exit is about 61 seconds. Now that does not include, like I said, tire warm-up, and it does also not include, I believe, having to slow down extra for pit entry and exit. So I think it's probably going to be more than that for an actual pit stop. I don't know how much more it'll be, though.
Okay.
As I can actually, if I can find it, I can pull up how long they stopped for. Yeah, so C. Thibodeau stopped for 39 seconds. That to me signifies that they had damage that they were trying to fix. So maybe these two guys do have a chance of getting into the lead. Not 100% sure though.
Well, it's pretty early in the race yet. We've got 33 minutes, and lots can happen, as we've seen lots happening.
That is very true. There's always going to be some form of incident somewhere. We almost see one there with Ma. Almost getting rear-ended by Bayham. A little bit close for comfort. Not too bad.
Hopkins.
Oh, he's just pitting.
Okay.
We're gonna have the
Phew.
same issue that we did last week with Paul Ricard, aren't we?
It looks like we just might.
That is unfortunate, but you know, we do what we can. I'm gonna ride along on the wing here with Speed for at least a little bit as we watch Ma chase Speed and then Baham chase Ma. And it looks like Speed is reining in Blanc ahead of him. Although that might be Ma reining him in the moment.
Yep, Ma going past Speed.
Oh no!
Ah! And then being
Oh, I'm gonna pull up the replay on the main
Murdered.
screen here.
by Speed.
But it looks like Speed tried to perform a crossover.
I think it looks like Speed tried to commit homicide.
That could very well be the case, to be honest. It looks like someone else went off.
Yes, we had Shield
Oh no!
again, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, hopefully y'all were able to see that in the pit there, but he just had a moment. Thankfully he didn't hit anyone. It almost looked like he would.
It did.
Yeah. Ma is now back going forward, probably a little bit more angry than they had been before, unfortunately, as we have another driver to the pits, and that's Duong Bonglio. But our two current leaders, anyways, have not pit yet. We're close to half the pack having pit, but these guys haven't. Some of that could be them wanting to make sure that they don't pit into traffic. So since it's almost a minute pit length, if they were to pit now, they would pit just behind Acomb and Jake. And you don't want to get held up by slower traffic. As we have a stop-go 30 for leader.
Oh, he must have sped in the pit lane.
And that would be...
Naughty.
Yeah, that sucks. But, you know, it happens sometimes. It's happened to me before. I'm sure it'll happen to me again at some point, so...
Yeah.
Sucks to see, but it does happen. Meanwhile, Acomb almost rear ends Ma again. I'm fairly sure Ma just wants to be contact-free. Just wants to run their race for the rest of the time.
Yeah. And he's probably dealing with quite a bit of damage at this point. Also, does need to go into pit, so maybe it would be a good time to do that.
Yeah, you can see the scrape marks there on the right side of the car. I would assume that there's also some form of damage on the rear of the car, but I'm not able to see it.
I would assume so also. I don't think that was that the first incident that he had this race? I don't think so.
No, I think he's had a couple incidents. I don't...
Yeah.
None of the incidents that I know of anyways have been directly his fault. I could entirely be wrong on that because my memory with how crazy these races get is not the best. But we do have a group of hitters here, including Baham.
We do.
And that is now...
watching.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and come back up front. What?
I'm going to go in the back.
All right, that works. Two teammates there in the back.
Yeah.
Is that leader and Shield?
That's Van Loo and Cox
Okay.
hanging out together.
Nice and close to each other. Hopefully they don't wreck each other's race.
Hopefully not. I mean, when all else... I mean, they've had a pretty rough race also, so maybe they're just going to hang out together for a bit. Try to work together, see what they can do.
Yeah, we can hope so anyways. I know that in the fantasy, the SRA fantasy, someone was kind of, or just for fun, I think it was there, it might have been during the first race commentary, they were hoping that me and my brother, who are teammates, would collide just so that we'd have some house drama, but Watt is into the pits. And I don't believe he has any damage. Oh no!
Thrown to the wind. Poor man.
Oh. Yeah, he looks like he was side by side and then just had a massive incident there.
He was punted to the ether.
Yeah. we've seen that a lot here of drivers just going a little bit wider than they need to. Which isn't really surprising. This track is a very narrow track, especially compared to last week. So people might think they have extra room compared to what they actually do.
Well, I'm glad I'm not a steward. Let's just say that.
I am very glad I'm not a steward. I don't want to have to deal with this. Yeah, so Shield is in the pits. From, I believe, a ways back. Unfortunately, they are going to exit close to last place, I think. I could be wrong on that, as my ACC race control and my actual what's showing on screen are not the same. So we'll have to see when that updates.
Love when that happens.
But more importantly, Zach Watt has come out 5 seconds ahead of the previous race leader of C. Thibodeau, Cameron Thibodeau. So
5
we do
seconds?
have a straight race to the finish. Yeah, 5 seconds.
Whoa. That is a pretty significant chunk of time.
It is. I don't think it's a big enough gap for Parker to get into the mix for the top 3, but it's close.
And I wonder if that came down to the pit stop itself, if there was damage for Thibodeau or...
He was stopped for almost 40 seconds, and it only takes 30 to change tires, so I would assume that's what the issue is, but I can't say for sure. Meanwhile, Witt is into the pits, so we will have to see where he comes out in relation to Watt and Thibodeau.
You're watching him.
Garcia.
I'll keep him in the pit.
All right, that works for me. Garcia is now into the provisional lead of the race. He and Pellerin are the only 2 drivers who have not pit, as far as I know. A little bit further back, Bayham is fighting Maw. In the pit, Witt is now coming out of the pits. I'm going to pull up Watt in the helicam, and we're going to see where they come out next to each other. Or if they do.
Exciting. It's really close. Oh.
And Witt, for the moment, holds the lead. Watt does go deep into the corner, so it's just all about how quickly Witt can get those tires up to temperature and up to pressure. And I think he should have it, maybe not in the bag, but he has a better shot at it.
Now, Watt's been on fire. He does have the fastest lap of the race. And his is 3/10 faster than Witt, so
Yeah.
see how this next couple laps run.
Yeah, it could go fairly well for him, but we do have a battle for the race lead between 3 or 4 different people. Also, Parker came out of the pits in front of C. Thibodeau by about
he did.
2 seconds. So amazing job there for Parker to get into that podium position. So we might get to, I believe we interviewed him last week too, didn't we? So yeah, we might get to interview him twice in 2 weeks. But,
Oh yeah, he was P2 last week.
so yeah,
Don't expect him to stay a silver driver for much longer.
yeah, definitely not. Meanwhile, on the main screen, Watt has came straight to the back of Witt here, about 4 3/10 down through the chicane. We're gonna go ahead and ride in passenger view here, just to see if anything happens. I'm really hoping I'm not jinxing anything by saying that, but the more I talk, the more I'm gonna jinx. So I'm gonna go ahead and just listen in here for a moment.
Parker has another fan in the chat.
Watt tries to do a crossover into turn 1. Almost pulled it off, but was not given the space to do it. And you are right, Karen Parker. Hopefully they won't turn into a stereotypical Karen if he doesn't win the race, but glad to see that Parker does have a lot of fans here in the audience.
Wait, Parker boys, so I don't know if that's another Parker fan or
I believe it is, yes.
or what.
They've been cheering for him so far, so I would assume so.
Okay.
The other thing to note, though, now that we're talking about Parker, is with Witt and Watt fighting each other, that could give Parker a chance to get into this fight for the lead.
Well, he has, as you're saying that, I was watching him gain a few tenths on them. Of course, that fluctuates a little bit, but it does look like that gap is closing a little bit. So he's hoping they'll just keep fighting it out.
Yeah, he definitely has a good shot at winning this race, especially if something happens between Witt and Watt. I don't expect it to. They've been racing very clean so far, but we'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, our last two drivers are into the pits with Garcia and Pellerin. I expect they'll come out somewhere around P10.
Santos has
Oh no, Santos went deep. Oh no, he had a
Parker Boys is Dad. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Hi, Dad.
So, the whole family's here.
The whole. Yep.
So, again, glad to see the support. Meanwhile, Watt has lost the fastest time. SVG has now set 2 fastest laps in a row. It had been a 56.41. It is now a 56.39. So not quite down to qualifying pace yet, but we are close.
Couple flights toward the back. Watching Duong Bonglio looking up the back of Acomb. Also Thibodeau and Speed were rather close.
Yeah, Duong Bonglio just got past Hastings. And Acomb has fallen back. I believe he had an issue. I'm going to go ahead and replay that. Yes, he did. So he had an issue coming through the chicane and was not able to get on the power quick enough, and so that lets Blanc through as well.
As Hastings takes his spot back from Duong Bonglio. It's a hard name. It's like marbles in my mouth.
Yeah, during the SRA draft, my brother was trying to draft him, and he was just tried to say that name there, but he had to try and pronounce it in order to be allowed to draft him. So I had to give him some tips on how to pronounce it. So hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, otherwise we're all in trouble.
Well, no one's complained yet, so...
That is true. Meanwhile, Watt is as close as he's ever been to Witt, about a 10th off the lead. He has enough, I think, to try and make a dive. Ooh. He does make a dive. He's trying to maybe perform the switchback, but doesn't get enough speed, so I think he may have just gone deep into that corner. He's not really going to have a chance to overtake through these next few corners. His next chance is probably turn 5 or turn 6, but that's only if Witt makes a mistake somewhere, and I don't really expect him to yet. We're too early into the run for tires to be that big of an issue, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so. But Witt's got to be sweating bullets in there, trying to hold Watt off.
Yeah. I would say Watt is in an even more precarious position, because Parker is now within a second of Watts. He's about 8/10 back, and then just behind them, Thibodeau is a 1.5 seconds behind Parker. So we have a 4-way battle for the lead here.
We do. This is going to be very interesting, and you've got a lot of battles in the back half of this now. Things are settling out. People are, dare I say, behaving.
I would hope so. I'm not going to give them that much credit yet till we finish the race, though. Speaking of Thibodeau's, though, Speed had gone past, I believe it's Austin Thibodeau, but Speed had an issue coming through turn 3, and so Thibodeau is going to have a chance again here to get back past him through turn 5. He does get back past him, but this fight is not going to be over for a good while. Of course, he does have that Ford power against the Ferrari power, but around this track, power isn't...
I was wondering if something was going to happen back there. You had 3 guys less than half a second between each other. 4.
Yeah,
that was going to be a hot mess.
I looked over to the pip and saw something happening.
There we go.
So yeah, so unfortunately, I think Acom may have gone deep there. Meanwhile, Parker loses almost a second. I'm going to pull this up on replay here.
Feel in the back just slides out.
So yeah, a little bit of a moment back there, and then Parker went deep into turn 1. So this 4-car battle for first has turned into 2 2-car battles for first and third, at least for the moment. Still a very good chance for something to happen, though. Meanwhile, in the pip, we are on board with Bayham. In the main screen, we are watching the outside from the helicopter view of Bayham trying to overtake Ma. He's been doing a great job trying to make up for his drive-through penalty at the start. Obviously, he's not gotten back into the top 10, but he still has time. And it's been a great recovery drive for him so far.
It'll be and kind of looking like a nice battle for Ma. You know, they're fighting. He's being able to hold him off, but no contact so far. Fairly, as I say that, fairly clean. You know, or
we need to send better vibes. I told Dan Cran, the beloved, that I was going to try and send good vibes this stream so that we don't have any big issues, and there's not been too many big issues as someone has gone deep. Oh, it's Santos. Yeah, I think he just... Oh,
they did not go. Yeah.
Yeah, so he went very deep. I believe that was Dan Thibodeau that he hit. I'm going to... Yeah, so
that was incredibly optimistic of him.
Yeah, I think he just went way too deep into that corner, unfortunately. We're going to go ahead and watch the main battle up here up front in the main view, but yeah, that was a very unfortunate for Santos. Also unfortunate for my fantasy team, but that's a separate issue. So after his little incident into turn 1, Parker has managed to crawl back up to about 8/10 back behind Watt. We do have a blue flag driver. I believe that might be Santos, though I could be wrong.
Whoa.
And so these drivers will have to try and negotiate around these blue flags as Santos gets out of the way for almost everyone.
Almost everyone.
A little bit of a moment at the back, but looks like he's safe for now, so. But yeah, we do have a very good battle here for P1. And then I'm not sure who that is in the pip. Steph, who is that?
That's Mr. Van Loo following. Is it Dan Thibodeau?
Wit went way off.
What?
He had a massive incident through the chicane and just went way off.
Oh, that curb got him.
I complimented him on his consistency a while ago, and he rewards me with that.
Oh, that. You hit the second curb.
Yeah. Wit, I apologize. You can fully blame me. I don't think you'll be able to get me on a ticket, but I fully apologize for that. But what that has done is clear the way for Watt and potentially Parker to get this win.
I see Santos has put himself in the pit. Maybe has thrown in the towel for this one.
Yeah, it's quite possible. He's had a lot of issues today. Just a lot of offs. So it's understandable. And since he's completed enough the race, he will still get points as long as he stays in the lobby. It's just he might not think it's worth it to drive around at this point, which is unfortunate, but it's understandable.
He probably has a ton of damage, and it's just not pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Ma and Baham in the pit there are just battling it out. Hopefully having a good time the whole way.
Well, it's been... I'm not going to jinx... Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to jinx it this time, but...
Don't.
I'm not going to say anything, but I would assume Ma has enjoyed that race a little bit better than last time.
Yeah.
Currently, SVG here is fighting with Wit for P5. I would assume that Wit has massive issues with either damage or tires at this point due to his off. Hopefully, he'll be able to keep going. It looks like he will be. He goes a little bit wide there on the exit of the chicane, so I assume he's a little bit more cautious there than he had been.
It might be. It's yeah, when you have an incident like that, it's really hard not to be very nervous the next time you come through there.
Yeah.
As wow, Wang Bonglio puts his nose in and actually goes past Baham while he and Ma were fighting.
I believe those are teammates. I could be wrong, but their liveries seem similar enough that I would assume they are.
Could be.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and cover our fastest movers as we enter the last 11 minutes of this race. Parker, obviously, as we talked about earlier in this race, is someone, I believe that's a blue flag that just went off there. So I won't hound him on that, unfortunately, but it looks like Steph will in the pip.
I will. Oh, that was an easy little off. Okay.
Thankfully, it gets out of the way of the race leaders fairly quickly, but still unfortunate. But again, to try and get back to our big movers, as leader is there in the pits, in the pit there in the bottom right. On, I believe that's Lorenzo. Parker has moved up 12 spots. Zach Watt here up in the front has also moved 5 spots, so amazing job for them. SVG is currently up 14 spots. May is up 12 spots to P11. Mark DC is up 16 spots to P12. Speed is doing an amazing job, up 17 positions. So basically gone up over half the field at this point, I think. Ma has gained 15 positions back from when they had their quali ban. And then Hastings has gone up 14 positions. So a lot of big movers. Oh, I missed it. Parker got around Watt. Oh no. And then Parker has an issue. I don't know if he got hit there or what. I'm going to pull up the replay of this move just because I feel like we deserve seeing it. That was an amazing, a little bit of contact there, but that was an amazing switchback move.
What?
I don't know about what the stewards will say about that, but that was an amazing move there. And then he gets hit by Watt.
Oh,
that's a horrible way. Like, it was an amazing pass. I don't think it would have stood up against the stewards, but it was an amazing pass to just hold it because it looked like he was about to spin backwards.
Well, they might have gotten away with that as just racing incidents.
Yeah.
It's just side to side.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think Watt is going to get away with the with that rear ending. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going to.
Not wrong.
Okay. That's what I would expect.
Well, as long as Parker puts his ticket in, and that's the big thing, guys. If you have an incident, you put the ticket in. It's what keeps us all honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure you put in your tickets, guys, because we want to try and keep this this league clean as possible, and we can't do that if we're not able to. I'll say helps drivers know that they're wrong is the way I'll put that.
They're learning opportunities.
Yeah, everyone has incidents. I had a lot of incidents last week, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm putting anyone to shame. I am very much in that figure out that I'm doing it wrong camp.
No, I've even put a ticket in on myself just to make sure it got in there.
I've done that too. So here in the back, leader has gotten past Hopkins and is now about a second up the road. So I believe that pass is done and dusted. In the pip, I'm not going to steal your thunder this time. Duong Bunglio and Bayham are still fighting with Ma. It's kind of stayed line to station for a moment, so I don't know if anything will happen. Duong Bunglio is looking to get a pass there on Ma.
Yeah, I think these guys are having a good time. I mean, it doesn't matter what position you are in the race. Well, at least for the second half of the race, Ma had a pretty rough first half of the race, and they've caught up to speed.
Yeah.
So look at that.
A little bit of a wiggle there from speed.
Oh!
Ooh. As soon as I start talking about them, they almost have an issue. I would think that the commentator's curse normally like wanes at some point, but I guess not. For
No. It strengthens.
Okay.
It strengthens.
I'll put that in my notes to talk about one driver the entire time. But yeah,
Ma is probably happy to get speed behind him, not just to have that position, but give the other guy something to fight about. Maybe he can get away, which looks like he might be.
Although, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe one of the incidents he had was with speed.
I think so
that
too.
Was an amazing switchback maneuver. I think that was more an issue from Duong Bunglio there. I'm going to pull that up on replay on the main screen. But that was an amazing move by Speed. Duong Bunglio went a little bit deep there into the corner, but did an amazing job, Speed and Bayham did, to get around Duong Bunglio. Now, it is unfortunate for that to go deep there and lose 2 spots in the same corner, but he kept it going straight. He is now just a little bit in trouble of... Oh, no, Speed! Oh, I don't know what the yellow flag was.
What was it? What is going on there?
I don't know. I'm going to pull up a replay. I think he may have had an issue going through here. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit of an oversteer moment, but did a good job there.
Wow.
Karen Parker asking me to please ignore Josh. I will do my best.
Yeah, I mean, he's in P3. He's got the guy behind him's 7+ seconds, and he's 2.5 behind Thibodeau right now. So, yeah, I think he's safe.
At least for the moment. Yeah, knock on any wood you can find. The person I will focus on is Thibodeau. Thibodeau is chasing down Watt for the lead.
Hello.
Of course, he has a little bit of a moment, but he's doing an amazing job trying to chase down Watt. We'll see if he's able to catch him. Oh, Van Loo having a little bit of a moment there down in the pit.
Yeah, it looks like he just hit the curb in a really bad way.
Yep.
And
he has now fallen back into the clutches of G. Jacobs. Not sure if they'll be able to make a pass, but there's a chance. And meanwhile, out front, probably our closest battle is Garcia on Witt. I believe I must have missed it, but SVG must have been overtaken by Garcia. I don't know when that would have happened, and I'm really sad I missed it.
Yeah, didn't see anything even remotely close.
I guess it probably would have happened while we were following the front four, but I'm not entirely sure.
Although there was quite a bit of excitement in the back there for a bit with Baham and Ma and Speed and Duang Banglio. So.
Yeah. I'm having some issues here with my ACC race control because it's showing Vienna Ma is jumping all over the place. Not entirely sure what that's about.
It's just race control stuff.
All right.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it for the quirkiness.
Well, that I can try.
Well, let's see. Duang Banglio is trying to caught up to Speed again.
Yeah, they're now, it looks like side by side. I am going to pull this up in the helicam. I'll let you keep in the close track there. Duang Banglio is now side by side with Speed. They're giving each other the space. So good on them for trying to not cause any more incidents. Duang Banglio does go a little bit wide, but I do think he's going to get side by side here. He does get side by side, but decides not to do anything. It's a very hard to try and do a pass through turn 5. Thank you, Parker boys, for the compliments. We love doing commentary like this.
I was gonna say Parker Dad.
Well,
but
oh no, Speed!
No!
He held it, and they're now side by side going through turns 8. Speed goes wide. Ooh, loses 2. Thank you, MMA Post. Oh, you better jump to the front as Watt is 2/10 off of Thibodeau. Ooh, I better.
I'll keep an eye on this excitement back here for you.
That works for me. Yeah, so Watt. Thibodeau overtook Watt. I'm going to have to see if I can pull this up. Because Thibodeau had been behind Watt.
Well,
so I think Watt had an issue here into turn 1. Hopefully, I went back far enough in this replay. Yeah, I didn't go back far enough. But yeah, Watt went, there we go. Watt went deep into turn 1, and that allowed Thibodeau to get past. I was wondering why the last...
What?
Oh no, Wit.
Sorry. Sorry about the interjection. I just saw him go yellow.
Oh, another oversteer moment. I would assume his rear tires are just cooked at this point.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate, though. He was doing a great job out in the front of this race, and it just slipped out from underneath him. Ooh, as Thibodeau has a moment, Watt is now side by side. He's gotten, a little bit of bumpy there. I don't really know what happened there, but Parker, Watt has...
Oh,
I don't know.
That's the end of the race.
That is the end of the race. That was an that was an amazing end of the race. I don't know who finished first. I think Watt finished third there. I'm not entirely sure what happened though. But Thibodeau is your winner. Parker P2, Watt P3, Hemi in P4, Garcia P5, SVG comes in at P6, Witt P7, Garmin P8, Pellerin P9, and Stearns will be coming across the line here in P10. I'm going to quickly get a screenshot of our top 5 just so that I don't forget who it is. But that was an amazing last lap thing. I'm not entirely sure if what happened there at the end. But whatever happened there was interesting, that's for sure.
Whoa! Oh, it went over the line.
Yeah. Baham just comes in just behind Ma. Duang Banglio, and then Hastings, and then Speed, and then Acomb, Cook, Blanc. I believe Blanc is the last person who will cross the line on the main lap. I'm not sure. There's a few people behind him that are still crossing, so I'm gonna keep following down the line. Leader, will almost get passed by Lorenzo here on the last lap, but manages not to. Hopkins had a unfortunate race, but he comes back in what it says is P24. I don't think it's actually P24. And then Thibodeau will be the last person to finish the race. But there is our finishing order. So Thibodeau, then Parker, then Watt. An amazing job there for the top group. We will get to our interviews here in a moment. But Steph, amazing race. Obviously an amazing finish. What are your thoughts after that race?
Well, it was quite eventful. It was an exciting race. I mean, just the fact that we were watching the P1, P2 racing and they finished and we were like, wait, what's going on? The race was over. That's just how like seat gripping it really was. So
yeah, that's
awesome job, guys.
Yeah, that was one of the best finishes to a race I think I've ever seen. I wish I'd looked at the clock to notice that that was the end, but either way, an amazing race overall. We're gonna go ahead and try and get our race winners here into the box for an interview here in just a moment.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm looking at the race replay to try to get an idea what happened to what at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that there are 2 start-finish lines, because there's the one at the start where the pit boxes end, and then there's one closer to the corner. So it's possible he may have stopped at the wrong one, but he also might have just been letting Thibodeau and Parker by to make up for the last for his incidents. I'm not entirely sure though.
Yeah, it's hard because I look and he actually lets off the throttle, but not entirely. Like it's half throttle till they get by, and he just goes back to pit. So I guess we're gonna have to ask him in the interview if he will grace us with one.
Well, he has said he is ready, so I'm going to figure out how to get this working. Hello, Cameron. Amazing win, and welcome to the booth.
Thank you.
That was an amazing race today. Started from pole, lost first place in the pits. Were you pitting from damage there? Were you fixing damage?
Oh no, I wanted to pit early, but I don't think it did me good.
Yeah, because it looked like you were stopped for more than the normal 30 seconds. So I wasn't sure if you were had damage you needed to fix, or if you messed up the stop or something.
No, I don't know. I think I only had tires on, so I don't know if it was doing anything else.
Okay. So obviously you got the lead from first Witt flying off the track, an unfortunate incident for him going through the chicane, and then your fight with Watt. Go ahead and talk us through those two battles.
Oh, well, I only remember the one at the end with, was it Watts?
So the one at the very end with Watt in the BMW, or?
Yes. Yeah, the BMW.
Yeah, so that's who you were, I believe, who you were fighting with through the chicane for the last 2 laps or so.
Oh yeah, so I was racing with in the chat. I was racing with someone named Parker, and he was right in front of me, and I think he was in the black red Lexus,
mm-hmm.
and I was tailing him, but I was kind of losing my ground because I think I was using too much grip, too much on my tire, and because I pit early, I started to lose my my grip.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did my best to keep up with him, and then when they had that little bump in the front, I followed through and started chasing. What was it? What was the name again?
Watt.
Guy in front of me? Yeah, Watt. And he was pretty damn quick, so I just I did my best to keep up with him. And near the end, I saw him overshoot the first corner, and that was my chance, so I went for it. and he started. And he was battling me through those last few corners, and I think he got right in front of me near the end. But I'm not sure what happened because it seemed like he may let me pass to the finish.
Yeah,
we're all bated breath waiting to see what happened to him at the end.
Yeah, we will be interviewing him for finishing P3, but yeah, it was very interesting to see because he pulled off to the right-hand side just before the start-finish line.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if he had a problem with the car or if he just gave me the win.
Yeah, we're not sure either, but we will be sure to ask him when we get him in for the interview. Steph, do you have any questions for Cameron?
Just that final question of
I'll let you.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my dad. He Dan Thibodeau. He is the one that wanted us to do the racing with him because he has been doing SRA for around 2 years, I think now. And I was there in the beginning, but I didn't commit through the full season. But this time, I'm going for it.
Well, you won this one. You better go for it.
Yeah, I tell you, this was a fun race. I don't know what changed, but a few days ago when I was practicing, something just clicked, and I was able to make 155s, which. I don't know how I did it, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got first. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so again...
Have a great night.
Yeah, amazing race. Hope to see you again up here later, and have a good rest of your night.
You too. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to move him down back to D5, D6. Then if I can find Parker, there he is. He's already said I can pull him up preemptively, so I will... pull him up here. Hello, Josh, and welcome to the booth.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I mean, you saw what happened out on track, but from P14 to P2, not a bad result.
Yeah, you had quite the cheering stand here in the YouTube chat. They were cheering you on basically the whole way. It was great to see both their reactions to what was happening on track and also just your driving. So go ahead and talk us through your race and how it went.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you saw, the qualifying wasn't great. Landed me in the middle of the pack. Wasn't my fastest time, but at least it kept me in the top 15. From there, just from the practice that I've been running in the practice races, I saw that going up the middle on that first turn kind of works as long as you're cautious. So shot it up there, made sure I kept my nose clean and was able to get into P6, and then from there just kept it consistent, which honestly that's my biggest thing this season that I struggled with in previous seasons. I've just been trying to keep it consistent on the track, and the results are there, so that's kind of my race.
Yeah, you were amazingly consistent, and then obviously there was a whole lot of chaos there in the last 5-10 minutes of the race. So are you able to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So Wit in the other car, he spun out, which brought me and Watt up into first and second. So I spent the whole latter half of the race trying to catch up to him. And then on, I think it was end of lap 25, start of lap 26, I was finally able to close that gap, bring it in. I saw that first corner would be a good chance to make the move because I know that the Lexus has the speed on that straight to really catch him up. So I decided that I was going to make a move there. He was kind of on the inside of the track, so I was going to shoot it up the outside, but then he braked really early, which, I mean, part of that could have been because someone took out the braking marker, which was a little struggle there. That turn and one of the back straights had their braking markers taken out. So he braked really early, so I was like, okay, I can outbrake him here and shoot it up the inside. So moved over, and then you saw we had like a little bit of contact there because both of our cars were kind of unstable because I was reacting to him braking early, and he might have freaked out because he braked too early. So we bumped a bit, but we were fine. Got around the chicane, and then we were fine. But then, as you saw, I don't know if I broke early or if he just missed his breaking point, but he gave me a little bump at the end. We both talked it over already in the debrief. I mean, we had our words. He apologized, and he let me through at the end. So all's well that ends well, but still disappointing result because it could have been a win.
Yeah, it's fair. You were really close to that win. It's unfortunate that it turned out the way that it did, but either way, and like you said, an amazing result to jump up to P2 after that qualifying performance. Steph, do you have any questions for Josh?
Yeah, I forgot to ask Mr. Thibodeau in the earlier interview also, like, about next week. How do you feel about next week's track? And, you know, you might have not gotten P1 this week, but hey, there's always next week, so.
Yeah, next week should be interesting. We have Barcelona at night. Barcelona is very well-rounded track. So it'll be interesting to see how the Lexus performs on there. I won't be able to get in as much practice because I'm actually going on vacation tomorrow all the way up until Monday. So it's going to be on Monday kind of just grinding out laps for a few hours to try to get in race shape. But I'm excited. Barcelona is one of my more favorite tracks, although my pace hasn't always been there in the Mustang. But we'll see how I do in the Lexus.
Awesome. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, shout out to my family. Thank you for watching and supporting me through the race, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
All right, well, thank you for joining us here in the booth. Again, great race, great recovery, and we will hope to see you again next week.
Definitely.
All right, so thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of your night.
You as well, thank you.
All right, Zach Watt has said that he is ready, so we will go ahead and pull him up.
Everybody wants to know.
Zach, hello, welcome to the booth.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing pretty good. So, pretty good race overall. Little bit of chaos in the last 10 minutes or so. But go ahead and talk us through your race and how you think you did.
I think it was pretty good. I got behind Witt for most of the race, and he played really good defense. Like, I could catch up in certain parts and then have to adjust on certain corners for how he took it, but he played really good defense. He had really good racing. And then he ended up spinning out, and Parker was catching up, and then got into some blue flag traffic that would slow me down, but then because he was right behind me would let him pass, and it kind of like put him a little closer to me, and he pushed me in T1. It looks like to me it felt like he broke a little late, and then we kind of bumped in turn-in because he kind of went through the corner a little bit, and then we were just kind of fighting through it, and then I was trying to take the inside, and he cut in, but he was in his space, and he was ahead of me, so I bumped him, and it spun him out a little bit. Luckily, he was able to recover pretty quickly, but that's why I ended up pulling over at the end of the race. I'm like, I'm not taking it like that, like the bump. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just give him back the position. Originally, I was gonna give him back the position if he could pass the other guy who was all battling with us, Thibodeau. And then I think, second to last lap or last lap, I overshot turn 1 as well, and then Thibodeau passed, and so I pushed him hard, and I passed him in the chicane. I was like, man, I want to push it, and we were really tight through that, but I wanted to give the position back. I really didn't. I really want a victory. I want to get a win, but I don't want to do it by hitting people off, and so I was like, I'm gonna pull over, give these two back, and yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what if that was intentional, giving the positions back at the end of the race. We kind of figured it was, but we were also shocked that it had gotten to the end of the race because it was just so good watching that we kind of forgot that we were at the end. But By the way, great sportsmanship giving it back. It's unfortunate that it ended that way, but like you said, you just got to kind of learn from it and move on.
Yeah, I mean it was just racing and bumping, and if he wouldn't have spun out, and like if we were just bumping a little bit with each other and he wouldn't have spun out, then we would have just kept racing hard. But with him spinning out and losing that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it back. But no, it was good racing the whole race. I mean, I was constant battle for an hour, it feels like. I feel like I didn't really get a break for the entire hour, so.
Yeah. So, Stephanie, do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, he answered the big question that everybody had, which was what happened at the end of that. But I guess ask him the same thing I asked Josh Parker before. And how do you feel about Barcelona in the dark?
Well, two things. One, I hope it's not like Coda in the dark and I blow my engine, because that was the first time I've ever had that happen in ACC, so that was kind of rough. But no, other than that, I love Barcelona. I feel like Barcelona last season in mixed conditions was good, and Barcelona was actually my first track that I had really good times on, albeit in a different car, but I figured out on the BMW pretty well too. And I'm hoping that, you know, we need a track that the Lexuses don't destroy on. So, albeit Nurburgring wasn't as bad as Paul Ricard, I know that they're pretty good on that, and so I'm hoping it. Barcelona is one of those evening out tracks, and we'll keep going from there.
Awesome. I'll let you take it this time, Trey.
All right. So, last question of the night. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Huh? Sorry, it cut out for a second.
Of course it did. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out like all the racers I was racing with hard. It was just great racing. Nolan Witt, Josh Parker, Cameron Thibodeau. My teammate Brad, he went through and got bumped out early and struck. So, but he's doing good, and we've always pushed each other. So shout out to him, and yeah, just everyone supporting it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. Great race. Unfortunate way to end it, but there's always next week. So we will hope to see you again at Barcelona.
Yep. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You as well.
I may have cut him off there a little bit early, but oh well.
Well, that about wraps it up for us tonight. Now, you can always go back. We had on YouTube also Divisions 3 and Division 1 this evening. Both, I'm sure, fantastic races. Go back and give them a gander. And again, tomorrow night, Divisions 2, 4, and 6 will be racing. You can find 4 and 6 here on... Well, you can find them all on YouTube now, can't you? They changed that this season.
Yeah, they're double streaming D1 and 2 on both Twitch and YouTube. Although, I think the Twitch stream is a little bit less buggy.
Usually. But anyway, we're getting fancy around here. And then again, you can find our lovely voices here at the same time, same place next week, where the guys, and I think, well, the folks will be all racing around, as you've heard, Barcelona in the dark. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting race next week. It'll be an interesting bit for the drivers to try and race people when the only thing they can see is with the headlights in front of them. Hopefully, we again see. I'm not going to say that we didn't see a lot of incidents, because there were a good bit toward the end, but we've gone 2 weeks in a row without a big T1 pileup, so I'll take it.
Knock on some more of that wood.
Yeah, but anywho, like Steph said, you can join us tomorrow for a couple other divisions. Join us next week for Barcelona. And unless, Steph, you have anything else, I believe that we will go ahead and wave our friends here in chat good night.
All right. Well, good night, folks.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you all again next week.